They believe they can buy our vote with money taken from our own wallets. They pile upon us a tax code so huge, so complex, that even their smartest, most indispensable Treasury Secretary doesn't understand it. The income tax is so huge that if it was read aloud beginning to end for 8 hours a day, it would take 3 months to complete the task. But by then, they would have added more. They demand under penalty of perjury that we comply with every bit of it. They are the thieves, yet they treat us as criminals. In their quest for power, our representatives manipulate the language to conceal their duplicitous acts. They propose that a sexual act between two people only involves one person, or that a solicitation is really just a wide stance, or that a bow is a handshake. You must believe them, not your lying eyes or your common sense. They issue proclamations in dulcet rhetoric, carefully designed to alternately soothe and then agitate, keeping the people off balance and confused. By their own arrogance, compounded by incompetence, they create crises and then boast that the problem is so great, only they can provide a solution. A solution so urgent, it must be enacted before being debated or even examined. A solution which is ultimately more of the very thing that created the problem, compounded with additional authority given to those who have demonstrated incompetence and inability. The buffoonery must stop. These jackals must be called to heel. We are Americans and we will not go quietly into this tyranny of the weak. The eternal dream is that as humans, we have rights endowed by our Creator. Rights that exist independent of any government we ordain. From these rights flows the promise of America. That promise is not a house, it's not a car or a flat screen TV or universal health insurance. It is the promise that through hard work, creativity, and perseverance, you can make a better life for yourself, your family, and your community. Government must protect and not impede this promise. Regrettably, the symbiotic parasite that is our government has grown beyond its station. Its corpulence requires ever more from the life of the host, the people. Finding its gluttony unsated, it now turns to our futurity and seeks to indenture our children. As Jabba the Gov feasts on our wealth, crumbs and crust fall from its maw, attracting the K Street scavengers, mewing sycophants and special interests surround and plead for their share. And why not? The supply's endless. If we don't take action now, we will, as a country, become weak and infirm. Gone will be the dream and the promise, because whether you work or you don't work, you will languish in the same bland mediocrity, feasting on government cheese. We will be domesticated, enslaved to those who should serve us. All will be equal among the governed. All will be fair. The field of play will be level, and we will graze on it as sheep. We are not sheep! We are Americans! We are Americans, and we know what to do. It is the thing that drew you here today. The beast has an Achilles heel. It cannot create wealth. It can only consume it. It can be shrunk back to its useful size and returned to its rightful role as servant to the people, All that is required is that we squeeze the tube that feeds it, put it on a diet, reduce the flow of taxed wealth, and it will shrink. The beast will scream in terror. It will promise suffering of the people, elimination of vital services, criminals set free, roads and bridges falling into greater disrepair, orphans going hungry, dogs sleeping with cats, baby harp seals clubbing themselves. Crisis! Crisis! What you will not hear about is the loss of million-dollar expense accounts or private Air Force jets to ferry representatives about, or lavish congressional office reservations, or freezers stuffed with cold hard cash, or park projects, or any of the other thousands of costs that do not serve all the people. We will tighten our grip, speaking with one voice to our representatives. The message is clear as it is simple. If you do not reduce taxes and eliminate deficit spending, your services will no longer be needed and you will be replaced. As the flow of wealth slows, the government will become more fastidious, and the plate will be licked clean. Gone will be the discretionary spending, slush funds, and budget underruns that attract the lobbyists and special interests. The cost-benefit ratio of bribery will become unfavorable. We can have a fitter, leaner, more efficient government if we hold our resolve. The news the other day announced that April 13th is Freedom from Tax Day. They said the average American worked exclusively for the federal government from January 1st to April 15th. But that's the average. Half the population pays 97% of the income taxes, while the other half only pays 3%. And the half that pays 3%, they were done working off their tax debt way back on February 3rd. To pick up the slack, the rest of us won't see a dollar of our own money until June 16th. And they still say we don't pay our fair share. Is it so unreasonable to ask, in the spirit of fairness, that regardless of status, we all work the same number of days to support our country? Some say that democracies are destined to fail when a majority of the population realizes that they can vote themselves a share of the treasury. We are at that point now. Remember, half the population pays 97% of the taxes and the other half free. I believe we can save ourselves from the abyss because of the very thing that makes this republic great. It's the promise of America. With that promise, we have the vision to endure near-term hardship for long-term gain. We are the benefactors of our forefathers' legacy. As Lincoln said, we are blood of their blood, flesh of their flesh. Together we can endure and thrive.